Good to be here. I am David Lewis. I've been arrested for criminal mischief, the most Scooby-Doo sounding crime. You're ahead of me there, mustache. I appreciate your anticipations for laughs. I was a bad kid. I started skipping school when I was 7 years old. That's true. I would go in through the front door, immediately out the back. I'd run a mile down the road. I would just hang out at another school's recess. You know what's scarier than losing a kid? Gaining a kid, you know? They're like, what are you doing here? And you're like, I'm 7. They're like, let him play. I don't know. I'm not sure. They put me on Adderall for that. That's what they did. They're like, Dave's having a hard time paying attention. It's like, I'm not even there, you know? Check my grades at the other school. I'm killing it. Yeah, I have dyslexia. That's like spelling a word so wrong, even autocorrect is like try a different language, you know? I have OCD and ADD. I'm obsessed with accomplishing nothing. You know, I'm an impulsive guy. Never a good impulse. I'm never like, oh, I'm going to go volunteer at a shelter. It's always like, I'm going to jack off while driving. I 0 for a million on impulses. What a streak, you know? So I was bad at school. I think school's overrated, honestly. I remember the last thing I did in high school is I wrote a letter to my future self. I don't know if anyone's ever done that project before, a couple of you. Well, basically, I'll tell you, it's basically you write a letter, and then a teacher who gets paid in stickers holds on to it, mails it to you, and it's the worst Facebook memory of your life. Got that letter, and it was like, Dear Dave, you'll be reading this letter inside the house that you own. I read that letter shortly after putting a fitted sheet on an air mattress. Have you ever done that? Oof, not great. Not a metaphor for success, I'll tell you that. Certainly not that. Even college, I think. People talk about it so romantically. They're like, oh, I found myself. If I'm being honest with you, I wish I never found the person I was in college. I was a college radio DJ. Not great. Yeah? I'm sure you think, oh, Dave, did you have a cool radio DJ nickname? I don't know. Are you guys talking to the Doc of Rock? You need 20 cc's of Van Halen is how I spoke to other adults. Call my listeners patients like I went to DJ medical school. And I was on the AM dial. You know, the one you only listen to when there's a natural disaster? And I spelled it D-O-C-R-O-C. Whoa, bud, leave some women for the rest of us. Even if you're not laughing, at least you can go home and look in the mirror, and the person staring back at you won't be the Doc of Rock, okay? Got to live with the fact that I greenlit that to the good idea list, all right? Not good, not great. I have a brother. He is a huge board game nerd. Not sure if anyone knows that culture at all. No? Well, let me tell you, nerds are the worst bullies because they will bully you in their language. You know? So, like, I'm trying to connect. I'm like, oh, what game are we going to play? Like, Settlers of Catan? He's like, oh, what game are we going to play? Settlers of Catan. He nerd-cucked me. I got nerd-cucked. Got nerd-cucked hard. Right off the bat. Then we played the board game Everdale, which is like if Dungeons & Dragons has autism. It's so high level. You need a college degree. He's just getting off explaining the game. That's how, you know what I mean? He just loves it. It takes 45 minutes, and then he talked trash the entire time. He was like, oh, you're not going to play any Greenleaf cards before springtime? Is that what you're going to do? You think you're going to defeat me without any high-impact critters? What you thought? It's like, hey, Joe, why don't you shut up before I force you to make eye contact with a stranger? You know what I mean? You get anxiety when the checkout person's a woman. Why don't you pump the brakes, bud? You're a little too confident right now. I like going to the movie theaters. I'm doing that. And I'm sneaking stuff in. I don't know if you guys are sneaking stuff, but I am. I'll bring a backpack with fully cooked meals like lasagna and spaghetti and meatballs. And I'll hop around. I'll see a couple movies, and they can't do anything because that place is ran by children, you know? Can't tell me what to do if you have braces in your mouth. So, you know, like I drove here, you know what I mean? So, if anything happens, you're probably going to look to me for leadership. So I'm going to see a few movies. One time I woke up, it was after midnight and the theater was closed. That means someone came in to clean the theater, saw me passed out with spaghetti and meatballs, and was like, yeah, I'm not going to fight what appears to be a pretty successful homeless person. You know what I mean? Where did he get Tupperware? We got to call your mom for a ride. We have to get out of here. We got to go. I want to eat healthier. I just want to be healthier this year. So I started doing this. I started drinking kombucha. Yeah. But maybe you know this. Kombucha doesn't have normal flavors. Like, I got a kombucha and the flavor was Unity. And I was like, you don't got to give it a live, laugh, love name. I'm already drinking it, you know? Like, naming a kombucha Unity is like naming a Monster Energy drink backflip restraining order. We know, you know? You're putting a hat on a hat right now. We're all pretty aware. You know, Monster, it's perfect for skateboarding and holding on to a firework too long, all right? Kombucha is perfect for saying namaste when you call the cops on a barbecue. We are aware of the brands. Just call it blueberry or whatever, you know what I mean? So I know, you know? I just eat unhealthy because I grew up where people are passionate about gas station food. When did that happen? When did we all become passionate about gas station food? Like Wawa's, Casey's, Buc-ee's? Ask anyone about Buc-ee's. Right? You get it. You've been on board 100% the whole night, and I love you. I want you to know that. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I love you. Don't stop. I appreciate everything you bring to the table. 100%. Max effort. You left nothing on the field. I love you. Anyway. You're incredible. But yeah, Buc-ee's. And I love it too. You know what's better than any gas station food? Any restaurant, you know? Because you don't gotta buy your meal next to a patriotic novelty tee that says my pronouns are lock and load, okay? It's like self-respect at the restaurant. And yeah, it's like a crazy time. Now I got a friend who's like, oh, Dave, there's so much crime. Are you gonna get a gun? And it's like, yeah, I would own a gun, but I don't even own a house, you know? Like, I'm not gonna defend my landlord's apartment, okay? Thank you, mustache. Clapping. That's the correct response. Incredible joke. I flushed the toilet. Sounds like dubstep music. You know what I mean? You, me, and a third mustache guy. We have to open up a Pep Boys legally. We have to. That's important. We have to do that. And like, I know people tighten up at political stuff. Like, I'm in my 30s, man. Like, I have friends who are liberal, and I have friends who are conservative. Some of these guys I've known my whole life, and it's weird to watch that change happen, you know? It's weird to be like, dude, I've literally watched you do coke off of a toilet. And then one day you're like, yeah, but what about immigration? It's like, are you insane? Where was that attitude when coke was immigrating to your nostrils? You know what I mean? Now you're about borders? Okay. You know that coke didn't come from Canada, right? And you know what? Like, no matter where you land on the spectrum, like, I have a family. You know, we all have family, you know? Like, you know, whether you're left or right, we do very similar things. And sort of like, if you find out, like, a celebrity or a company doesn't align with your politics, you get upset. This happens every time the family, any holidays, this happens. Christmas, it just happened. My cousin came up to me, very liberal. She said these exact words. She said, Dave, I'm done with Sylvester Stallone. I was like, you're still craving Stallone? Do you think Rambo cared about pronouns? Like, I can barely pronounce words. You know what I mean? Sounds like he's drowning. And then, flip side, conservative uncle comes. He's like, Dave, I'm done with Disney. It's like, hey, Brett, you're 50 years old with no kids. I call the cops if you weren't, honestly. Oh, no, what's Disney going to do without guys who are forklift certified? What a hit to the brand. Incredible. Oh, my God. Let him know. We'll call him up. You got him, dude. I will say this. So I've been on tour doing some traveling by car, and I got sideswiped. That happened to me, and that's a real bummer. That will ruin your night. And I got out of the car, and the guy, he could not speak English. He did not have a license, and he didn't have insurance. And it's really in those moments you're truly going to find out how woke and progressive you are. Because it's easy to talk. It's easy to be like, of course I support immigrants. And then you get sideswiped, and you're like, I don't know, maybe we just build a wall around Pedro's driveway. You know what I mean? Maybe we deport the Chevy Equinox. He's not checking blind spots. But I want to let you know I didn't call the cops on this guy. Did not ruin his life, okay? Which does make me an ally. But, also, I was drunk. So we were both playing it pretty fast and loose in that McDonald's parking lot. I was like, why don't you give me a McDouble. We'll just, I saw nothing. We'll just go our separate ways on this one. That's fair. Everyone loves rough sex now. Great transition, Dave. It is the new standard. It's fucking on my head. I really don't know if I like it. But I think I do. It's the only time I feel like I'm in charge of anything. You know what I mean? I'm like, you like when I'm the boss? And she's like, yeah. And it's like, cool, can I use you for a reference? I need a job. I date a lot of very bro women. I call them strong pioneer women because they could probably give birth during a wolf attack. I've dated women who can weld and do carpentry. I'm just banging my way through the trades, you know? Like, you're on Tinder and I'm on Craigslist. My college girlfriend played rugby. I played small spoon. These are strong... She didn't take the chewing tobacco out of her mouth. Felt like I was getting blown by a potted plant. This is a different class of women. They all have tattoos. It's like getting cranked off by a Hell's Angel. This is what I'm into, apparently. My whole life. Actually ran into an ex of mine. I haven't seen them in 10 years. And since we dated, they transitioned. They're a man, and we talked. And they're like, hey, I've always felt this way. And we had a long conversation. But they were kind of like, I've always felt this way, and we dated, so... kind of means you're gay. And I was like, wait, are you telling me how to identify? Bro, that's the most man shit I've ever heard. You're killing it right now, you know what I mean? Doing white guy harder than I'm doing it. That's crazy. You'd be a senator. Texas hated that joke. You guys, some of you didn't know how to react. Let me let you know, they love it. So it's all good. I think I might get back into therapy this year, which is the most man sentence ever. I don't know, you can't talk about men's health without talking about hymns. Hymns. It's so stupid, hymns. Every time I look, I go, I'm hymns. You know, like, they just dumb it down so far. It's a one-stop shop. Hey, does your dick not work? Does your brain not work? Are you bald? Hymns. They should just make it they should just make it one pill, honestly. Just shove it all in there. Like a conditioner, shampoo, body wash. Just make it so easy. Just make it a giant gummy that's shaped like a Hot Wheels, throw it into a Zyn container. Just make it so, we're so fucking dumb. Anyway, let's make it so, hymns. I do think binge watch is our new word for depression. I do think that. But we all do, so I have this theory. I think the older the show you're watching, the worse off you are mental health-wise. New show, friendship homework. You know, someone's like, you know what show you would love? And you're like, please don't talk to me, you know? But yeah, I watch it. But I started binge watching the show Cheers. Really? I was like, I should get professional help. I don't think she's coming back. I know none of you remember the theme song to Cheers. Don't worry, I'm going to sing it for you. And if you do remember it, you can sing it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's making your way in the world today. Takes everything you got. That sounds like the first line of a Suicide Note. Right there, that was it. David Lewis, thanks a bunch.